Hi everybody, I am Rachel. Some of you may have met me before from some of your after school programs or in-school programs or your Saturday events, but if you don't know me, I'm Rachel and it's wonderful to meet you over the internet. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we are going to be making a smoothie. Some of you may have already seen some of my smoothie videos that I've made, but if not, I think you will enjoy. So, today's smoothie that we're going to be making is called Blueberry Breakfast. Blueberry Breakfast. There are the ingredients right there. It contains 1.5 cups of frozen blueberries, 1 chopped pear, 1.5 cups of yogurt, 1 cup of oats, and half a teaspoon of maple syrup. There's those ingredients right there. So packed with lots of nutrients, which I will get into a little later. All right, so first thing we are going to do is chop up our pear. So make sure you have a nice sharp knife and be very careful. Never cut a fruit, any kind of fruit like this in your hand. You always want to chop it while it's on the cutting board. So we're going to cut off the top where the stem is and cut the pear in half like so. I like to use a nice fresh pear. You can use any kind of pear that you want. So I'm going to cut it in half again. Cut this in half. Now, since we're making a smoothie, I'm going to chop it up as small as I can because as we're blending, it'll just help break it up a little bit better if we chop it up first ahead of time. So we're not going to put the pear in halves like you may be used to eating it, but I'm going to chop it up as best I can. All right. So also just make sure you get those seeds out of there. If you want, you can leave the seeds in, a bit of an extra nutritional boost, but I'm going to cut them out for myself here. All right, so we're cutting out our seeds. Again, making sure that I'm very careful with my knife. All right, cut it in half. Nice and soft, but still crispy. This is kind of the ideal time to eat a pear. It's soft, but still a little crispy. Should not be too mushy. That's kind of when it's starting to go bad and rot. And if it's too crispy, it's not quite ripe enough yet. So cut it up nice and so, like so, into pieces. You can take the skin off if you would like, again, but I'm going to leave mine on because there's a lot of nutritional benefits to the skin of the pear. There's a lot of fiber in the skin. You should always try to leave the skin on fruit when you're eating a piece of fruit. There's so much that you can gain from leaving the skin on. All right. I'm so tempted to just eat one of these pear pieces right now. They're so delicious. All right, so we have our pear nicely chopped up, as you can see here. I'm just going to plop those right into my blender and get those going. I'm going to grind these up first so that it kind of makes the rest of the ingredients a little bit easier to mix if we grind those separately. I'm going to add a touch of water to these pears to just sort of help with that process. All right, get this guy going here. You can also, if you're pressed for time, you can put all of your ingredients in at once and blend it up. Just know that you may have to use a spoon to push it down, or you may just take a little more time. You have to jiggle it a little bit to get it all mixed. So I like to just put it in one ingredient at a time. So let's blend it. All right, so now we have a nice mixed up smooth pear in there. Great. The next thing that we are going to add is a 1.5 cups of frozen blueberries. Now you can use fresh blueberries if you would like. I recommend using the frozen. It keeps it nice and cold and makes it less watered down. Remember, if you're adding the ice, it's going to be a bit more watered down, a bit more liquefied. So it's keeping the flavor nice and rich if you use frozen fruit to make your smoothie. So 1.5 cups. So I have 1 cup here. It's gorgeous blueberries. Dump that in. And I have a little line here to show where my 1/2 cup is. So I'm going to fill this halfway. Less dishes to do, right? All right, so there's my 1/2 cup. And I really like blueberries, so I'm going to add just a few more. Again, all of these measurements are just an estimation. If there's a kind of fruit that you really enjoy, or you kind of want a stronger blueberry flavor or anything like that, you can always add a little bit more to taste. All right, so we're all set with our blueberries. Again, let's blend this puppy up. And if you notice with the pears, give the blender a little bit of a shake. Sometimes when you're blending, certain pieces may stick up to the side. You kind of give it a little shake. There you go. Okay, so my blueberries are getting a little stuck here, as you can see. I'm just going to add another little touch of water to the blender. It's always helpful to have a little bit of water on hand while you're making the smoothie. Just helps to loosen things up, helps with the mixing. You can see the blueberries are taking a little bit longer since they're frozen, sort of blending with that pear. Another reason why it's great to just mix one ingredient at a time if you're able. So I'm going to give this another little mix. So that's pretty well mixed there. As you can see, it's kind of gorgeous all on its own. Again, this is also, you can take any kind of frozen fruit, really, put a little water in, blend it up, and you've got yourself a smoothie. So the next ingredient that we're going to add for our blueberry breakfast smoothie is, so we did our pear, we're going to do 1.5 cups of yogurt. Now, you can use plain yogurt, any sort of flavor, if you'd want non-fat yogurt, whole milk yogurt, if you're looking for, a little denser drink. I chose to use non-fat Greek vanilla yogurt. So I wanted to get that taste of the vanilla in there. And, okay. All right. Just peel that back. Just one of my spoons here. Just scoop in my yogurt. Nice vanilla. Smells great too. So I hope that you're doing this along with me. If you're not, now you can always, of course, pause the video and come back. All right, so I'm just packing that in there nicely. Yeah, take that off. All right, perfect. Let's get our yogurt in there. Scrape it nice and clean. I like to use these rubber teaspoons, even to just measure into a cup with. They scoop really nicely. They're sort of bendable. Any kind of spoon that you want to use is fine, but I sort of like to decrease the amount of dishes I have to do. So however many times I can reuse my tools, the better. All right, so we're gonna add another half cup. Got that all nice and scraped out. Okay. And again, I'm sort of seeing here I've got, you know, a little bit left. I'm going to choose to just leave the remaining yogurt in the container. Again, if you want to just dump the whole thing in there, you can do that. All right. Nice and scraped out. Okay. Let's get ourselves mixed up. All right, there we go. Nice and mixed. Next, we're going to add our oats. So let's get our oats going here. Double checking my recipe next to me. All right, so 1 cup of oats. Let's put our oats in. And this could be any kind of oats. You can use, I'm using the Quick Cook Steel Cut oats, sort of a more grainy texture. You could also use, you know, raw oats, any kind of oat really that you want to use is totally fine. Dump my oats in there. Scrape them out. Okay. Blend this puppy up. I'm gonna add just a touch more water. So see, I have some stuff sticking there on the bottom. Just add a little bit more. All right, there we go. Perfect. And last but definitely not least is our maple syrup. So maple syrup is definitely good for more than your pancakes or your waffles in the morning. So I always like to use the pure maple syrup as, you know, as often as I can. It's much more natural. It's tapped, you know, right from a maple tree and then goes through cooking to turn it into syrup. Contains all natural, you know, sweeteners instead of, you know, over-the-counter or your traditional syrups that may, you know, Aunt Jemima and all of that stuff. They're delicious, but contain a lot of artificial sweeteners. So this is always a better option if you're able to get it. And honestly, it's relatively cheap. Any grocery store, you can get a small thing of maple syrup, and it's definitely worth it. All right, half our teaspoon of maple syrup, and I'm going to add a little bit more in there. Just a bit. Okay. Good. So we are done. It is time to taste. Let me get my yogurt all over the place here. All right, let's give this a taste. Very pretty color. If you'll see, it is thoroughly mixed together. So when you're making the smoothie, you should wait to pour it out until you don't see any ingredients on the side or anything like that. I have a little bit up here, and if I had a spoon with me or a spatula, I could have pushed that down to make it all mixed in. But at the top, it's okay. So that the majority of your blender is all nice and mixed together. It's evenly mixed. So let's give it a try and see. Really, really good. I could definitely enjoy this in the morning, either with my breakfast or as a nice breakfast substitute. And again, this is great to make. Throw it in a jar, put a lid on it, take it to go, even in a cup, any kind of cup that you have, Tupperware container, and you can drink it that way. These tend to work best if you leave them in the refrigerator. Store it in a Tupperware container covered, leave it in the refrigerator. You may need to open it and stir it again, just kind of remix the ingredients together. You could put it in the freezer if you would like to make your own sort of yogurt icy pop. You can do that too. Leave it in the freezer, put it in a little cup with a popsicle stick. Could work. I've done that. Makes kind of your own little yogurt icy popsicle. Or just know that if you freeze it, it probably will be hard. It won't really stay in this frothy, frozen kind of way. So I recommend the refrigerator if you want to continue to drink it as a smoothie the next day. I'm actually going to take another sip of this because it's delicious. Okay. All right, so if you've watched any of my videos before, you know that I like to talk about why these are such healthy smoothies, right? So, why is this good for me, you may ask? I will tell you why. So let's take a look at some of our ingredients that we had. The main one, of course, being our blueberries. So, blueberries, they promote skin health, anti-aging, improves memory, reduces your risk of heart attack, and improves your immune system. These are all great things for anybody at any age, but especially, if you're watching this and as we start to get older and, your memory might start to decline, or, you might be experiencing some aging and your skin may not be as healthy as it once was. Blueberries are really great to combat some of that. Check that out. Next, let's chat a little bit about our maple syrup. So, maple syrup, which it was very interesting to me, the number of health benefits that maple syrup can provide, which you don't usually think of that when you're putting it on your pancakes or your waffles, but it surprisingly contains a lot of nutrients. So maple syrup supports bone health. It is a great source of calcium, magnesium, and potassium. So these are all things that support muscle health, supports your bone health. Magnesium actually can give you more energy for exercising. It's a great source of magnesium. Magnesium also helps curb depression and anxiety. So who knew, right? Again, that's another reason to try and get natural maple syrup as opposed to more commercial maple syrups such as Log Cabin or Aunt Jemima. Not that I'm against any of those products. They're delicious and I definitely enjoy them. And they, certainly contain some of the maple syrup benefits, but a natural maple syrup is always the way to go if you're able to. And again, you can really find it fairly cheaply at, grocery stores or markets or anything like that. Let's take a look at our oats. So oats are gluten-free, obviously, which is great. A nice mealy texture, especially if you're not able to have wheat. That can sometimes be something that you're missing, but oats are a great alternative. So they're gluten-free. They keep you regular, so your digestion and that keeps you regular and, cleared out. Protects your heart and colon and helps with weight control. So all of those things, if you're trying to control your weight, it's also is a really healthy way to make you feel full. So it keeps you feeling full longer. It sticks with you. Great to eat in the morning. The most important meal of the day is breakfast. It kickstarts our metabolism and gets us going, which also, helping with weight control can be great. So eating breakfast in the morning, making sure that you eat breakfast in the morning can help you feel full throughout the day. So definitely great to have. Keeps you nice and stuffed. All right, let's take a look at our yogurt. As you may probably already know, yogurt is very high in calcium. It's a good source of protein, high in probiotics, which is a healthy bacteria. So when you're taking antibiotics, sometimes when you're taking an antibiotic, it can not only kill the bacteria that's making you sick, but it can kill the bacteria that keeps you healthy. So we have bacteria all over ourselves, and some of that bacteria is really good, and it helps you with digestion, it keeps your gut clear, and when you take an antibiotic, it can kill all of that stuff, and that can kind of make you sick in different ways. So it's really important to take a good source of probiotics all the time, and especially if you're taking an antibiotic when you're sick. So yogurt is a really great source of those probiotics or that healthy bacteria. And it keeps your bones and teeth healthy. Again, that calcium and that vitamin D, really great for your bone health and your teeth. And let's take a look at our pears here. Pears also promote gut health, helps fight heart disease, cancer, and diabetes. And it helps control your weight. So it's great to help control weight loss. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed watching this episode, and we'll try to make the blueberry breakfast smoothie at home on your own. Thanks so much. Bye. My goodness. Okay. Bye.